it made sense to me in the movie where they talked about how different emotional states could produce certain kind of neurochemical responses
Yes.
that affect your cells and so forth,
Yes.
or even simply being hunger, desire, stuff like these things. That made sense to me, the biological part of it.
Yes.
And I could sort of, I can see that in myself and in other people and
Yes.
so forth. But it was a little confusing. They talked about the quantum physics and how it related to some of the ideas of God, I guess. And I guess they were talking about that there was no matter, but it wasn't as clear to me as the sort of biological part, the quantum physics part, how it related to the sort of spiritual philosophy.
Yes.
So maybe could you
yes, I can give just some from spiritual part. This quantum physics says there is only universal consciousness, and Max Planck, who is the father of quantum physics, 1945 or so, he says entire thing is field, and I'm explaining in this my study. Field, the entire universe is hologram. There is nothing real except supreme consciousness. They call it quantum soup. They use so many terms. That is all reality. Vedanta says there is only Brahman. Buddha says there is void, shunya. All this they are talking about same thing. Nothing is real. Vedanta says names and forms are illusions. And science shows that it's illusion. Our body looks solid, it's not solid. Entire universe, if it is squeezed, entire universe, not our earth, it will be size of a peanut. It means there is empty space. Then my question, what bothered me, that if it's empty space, then why can we go through the wall? Okay, the answer, just studying, I found out, it is electromagnetic energy that produces resistance. So everything is vibrating, but we don't see. Okay, from biological standpoint, see this, everything, entire universe is supreme consciousness. Other than that is empty space, or electromagnetic energy, or all the names and forms are waves. That is what it is. Biological standpoint, Bruce Lipton, Dr. Lipton, he did experiment, just say, he did on DNA. He is a biochemist, or just DNA, and he showed that what we believe, that DNA controls us, but he kept the DNA in different environment, and DNA was controlled. His point is, our cell structure is made of DNA, and different environment it changes. So we have quite a bit of control over our health and all other things, because we are especially made of DNA molecules. Okay. Another thing is like a double slit experiment. I know in this book, when I saw that movie, I wrote this book because I was excited to, and I made comparison of all those teaching. But one experiment you can look up on YouTube, double slit experiment, and they show it there also. They projected photons from two slits on the screen, okay, and they look at the results later on. They should have two lines. Instead of that, they found several lines, and several lines they concluded that those photons, or just electrons, just atoms, they form the wave. And when you form the wave like this, interference pattern, and that makes so many slits. So when they were looking at the experiment, just somebody was observing, they found only two slits. Okay, that is what they show in the movie. Basketball could be in so many places. The point is that all the atoms have hundreds of possibilities, anything they can do. But when you observe it, you solidify them in time and space. So everything is nothing but, atoms. And when we solidify, we observe it, we solidify and make it real. So like we have chances going out, so many things can happen in our life. But when we focus, we solidify and materialize it. See, so that's how I understand. So does that make sense?
Yes, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah, so, but I see, so from so many standpoint, so I'm writing it just for practical purpose, not for intellectual thing, which is understanding and making into meditation. And all of them, I feel so much similarity, all teachings, I don't find any conflict. I feel, something. People find conflict, like even so many Hindus, they say Buddhism, Buddhism. I think Buddhism is actually Hinduism. He made it simplified, he revolutionized, he put a different word. For example, 5 layers, like Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, food, energy, mind, intellect and consciousness, 5 layers. Buddha calls Panchakhanda. Actually, he is a Buddhist literature in Pali language, which is exactly coming from Sanskrit. So, Panchakhanda, Pancha means is the same thing in Sanskrit. So, for me, I can easily say they call Sankara, instead of Sanskara. See, it's very, very similar. So, he brings out all those 5 things differently. He brings out so many things, like a void, what Buddha calls Shunya. Quantum physics makes sense because actually, you look from one standpoint, nothingness is everything. Because of the mind, we create time and space. If there is no mind, what is the difference between nothing and everything? See, so all this, and in this chart, in other books also, so I've shown through the chart that Supreme Consciousness is within and without. Like in this chart, So you consider Om is within, Om is without, in between is the universe. So universe is actually projected on Supreme Consciousness. Just like movie screen is constant and movies are projected, movies change. But you remove all the movies, movie screen remains. Same way, entire world is removed, consciousness removes. It still exists. So consciousness exists outside of this universe. Consider this to be universe or our body. Consciousness exists outside of our universe. But if you go inside also, it exists.
Is that everybody's consciousness? Is
everything? There is
collective
nothing.
consciousness?
There is nothing but consciousness. So really, everyone is interconnected. And they say when something is connected, stays connected forever. And I quoted the experiment in recently, it's 1990 or so. They split one atom or one proton or one photon, put 14 miles apart. Whatever they did to one, other one acted like it. So that means once something is connected, remains connected forever. At Big Bang, there was nothing. From Big Bang, everyone came, right? So we are all connected. So so everyone is connected. We don't know.
Through awareness or consciousness? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Basically?
We are connected whether we are conscious or not.
Or not, okay.
So if we are conscious, we can see it. But just look at human beings trying to kill each other, get over someone. And this is great master. They said, love everyone. Even non-violence. Don't even kill a bug. They feel unity. So as we evolve, we feel the unity. What science says, and all the people who are doing all the quantum physics research, they are doing objective study. Objective study. They're doing more like research. I'm interested in subjective study, so I'm getting much more out of whatever I read and see. Instead of saying Buddhism or Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism, it doesn't matter. I feel the tremendous connection. So if you go to the core, there is connection. Because all the great masters, their experience is the same. Christ came at certain time, Krishna came at certain time, Abraham came at different time. They experience it and they present it through speech. And speech is limited. And this is why all the conflict come because of speech, misunderstanding, misinterpreting. And I think some scientists say that about 400 AD after Christ, so many scriptures were revised and so many things are taken away. So really, New Testament misses some of the real teaching of Christ. Old Testament,